Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Ibja, for having me on the panel. So what I wanted to cover today is very quickly, essentially a presentation on the integration of the bullion spot market with the commodity derivatives market through the form of EGRs. And if you've heard one of the previous panels, Somasundaramji talked about EGRs. So I'll explain what EGRs are and how EGRs and derivatives could come together to form an efficient hedging tool. Before we get into the specifics, very quickly about NSE. So we were established in 1994. We've been around for over 30 years. We're the largest exchange globally when it comes to trading volumes on derivatives for 6 years in a row. And we are a multi-asset exchange, so we offer trading across asset classes, equities, commodities, and fixed income products. Now, one of the questions obviously we get asked is, what does NSE offer from a commodity perspective? And the answer is right in front of you. So we offer a wide range of products, over 27 products across bullion, base metals, and energy. We've designed the products to essentially have various categories. So we've got the minis and the micro contracts, which are designed for the smaller participants, and we've got the larger products as well. So now moving on to EGR. Well, before EGR, actually, I think it's important to understand why exchange-traded derivatives and what's the role that exchange-traded commodity derivatives play. Right? Now, there are quite a few different objectives that you essentially would try and achieve with commodity derivatives, and I've listed down 4 over there. But one of those is essentially price risk management. Now, price risk management is a very important aspect, and when you especially talk about hedging requirements, so if you're an importer, you want to import gold 3 months down the line, price risk is one of the key factors that is a risk for you. And exchange commodity products, bullion derivatives, essentially become a very key factor in terms of being able to hedge against price risk. Okay? Efficient price discovery. Now, what is interesting about exchange trading platforms is you have a wide variety of participants who generally come together. So you've got arbitragers, you've got hedgers, you've got speculators, and when you have different types of market participants that come together, you essentially lead that to efficient price formation. And efficient price formation is a vital key when it comes to price discovery and especially commodity products. Trading objectives is another key where you essentially can diversify your portfolio, get through different trading objectives, and also get a view on the commodity market trends. Right? And obviously, price setting for global commodities. I mean, we as a country, one of the previous panels talked about how we want to become a 30 trillion economy. Now, we obviously want to be a price setter rather than a price taker. And having a robust commodity derivative platform is very key to having a large price setting economy for commodities. Okay, so EGRs. What are EGRs? EGRs is essentially electronic gold receipts, which is nothing but an electronic form of trading gold, right, on an exchange. Now, this concept was first introduced by the respected finance minister in the budget announcements in FY 21-22, and later SEBI was asked to build a framework around this. So the way EGR works is if you are a seller, you could be a refiner, you could be a bank, you could even be a household carrying gold in your house. You would go to a vault manager approved by SEBI, and you would essentially deposit your gold over there, and you would get an EGR issued, which is registered in a depository. And once this is registered in a depository and linked to the exchange, you can then essentially buy and sell these EGRs on the exchange, just like you would trade stocks, for example. It's as easy as that, right? So you buy and sell the EGRs on the exchange, and when you want to take back the physical gold, you would essentially just take the EGR to a vault manager, and you would extinguish the EGR and get your equivalent physical gold back. So with that understanding, essentially, what benefit does it provide? What does EGR, provide? So EGR essentially gives you transparency and standardization when it comes to trading gold. It enables participants to be able to buy and sell gold without actually even physically holding the gold, right? Which is what the finance ministry also essentially hinted at, right? It reduces the storage costs. So you've got your gold, which is kept in a secured vault, so it protects against thefts. It reduces your transaction charges and your storage costs, and it offers settlement guarantee. So any transactions in EGR on an exchange is backed by a clearing corporation, which is approved by SEBI. And the role of the clearing corporation is to essentially give settlement guarantee to your transactions. So what that essentially means is by transacting through an exchange or a central clearing counterparty, you essentially eliminate the risk of settlement failures as well. So now that you have that context, what sort of impact will this have? When you have a well-established EGR market running, one of the key reasons, one of the key advantages is enhancing liquidity in the market, right? So you have multiple participants, coming onto the exchange platform, buying and selling spot gold through the EGR mechanism, which essentially leads to better efficiency and better price discovery. And this is really key to essentially, form a well-formed, commodity market, gold market. So we've got EGR established as a mechanism. We've got framework in place, and hopefully over the coming years, with a certain, few issues which need to be resolved, EGRs will become a mainstay product, enabling a much wider range of market participants to access the gold ecosystem. So then, how does EGR essentially link to derivatives, right? Now, imagine the scenario where you have an EGR and a commodity product listed on the exchange. This combination essentially gives you integration from a price risk management perspective. So you are able to essentially trade on both the physical gold via the EGR as well as hedge it using the commodity derivatives. So that's kind of a very key aspect when it comes to the integration between derivatives and EGRs. It also enables you to essentially define strategies around these two products, right? So you have gold listed, you have the EGRs listed, and you can build your strategies which essentially look at how both these products play with each other. It obviously brings about efficiency and transparency. And finally, you can also build structured products around it, right? So if you look at a lot of markets that have, ETFs on, spot gold, we could have ETFs on EGR, we could have, futures versus EGR, spread contracts, a lot of other different products made available. So hopefully in the coming years, EGR will become a mainstay product of exchanges in India and help to efficiently form prices for gold. Thank you.